It feels good to bring back fanfictions. I really miss them. I wanted to cover a lot of The Last Jedi material, but I think we've covered quite a bit for now. So today let's get back to the roots of Star Wars theory and dive into a parallel universe where we can see what really would have happened if certain events were changed. So today, as voted by 92% of you on the Instagram story page, you wanted to see what if Anakin killed Palpatine. This one can go two ways. The first being the most realistic, which we'll cover today. Although it's not the most exciting, it does leave us with the most realistic answer. And the second, if you wanted, I can make that fanfiction as well, which would be more of an elaborate story leading to the end of The Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin tells Padme that he can overthrow the Emperor. So today's scenario will take place during the scene that makes the most sense. And if we take plot armor and everything out of it, we have to understand Anakin's psychology. Here we have the highest part of tension in the film, built up, ready to burst when Palpatine finally reveals himself to Anakin in private, and then turns his back to him, hoping to entice him with anger and hatred. Anakin was super emotional, moody, impulsive, and hot-headed. Imagine that type of personality burdened with the constant stress of nightmares of his wife dying, hit with the reminder that he wasn't strong enough to save his mother from death. Added to this, the entire last few years revolved all around the death threats and assassination attempts on his wife. The return of the Sith, who killed his original master, Qui-Gon Jinn, and the indirect reason he lost his arm from Count Dooku, who was apprenticed to Palpatine himself. It would make for a very temperamental Anakin, don't you think? Now imagine all the lies and fears brought to him over the years had just been revealed by the cause of one person, Palpatine, the man who was like a father to him. However, let's remember, that also means nothing, since he choked out Padme in his fit of black rage, then tried to behead Obi-Wan, who was more family to him than anyone. I believe if George Lucas didn't care to make more films and wanted it to be purely realistic, then Anakin would have done what anyone in that position would do, and just move his lightsaber forward about 2 inches, severing Palpatine's spine and killing him instantly. Now, we could say that what if Palpatine was so in tune with Anakin's emotions that he could protect himself? I say that's pretty hard to believe, considering Anakin was one of the most powerful Jedi at the temple. He had his lightsaber several inches from Palpatine's neck as his back was turned to him, and he was most likely harnessing dark side emotions here, just as he did against Dooku. Also, why can't we say that Palpatine would suffer the same fate he did only 40 years later, when Vader blindsided him just by lifting him in the air and throwing him to his impending doom? No. I think if Anakin really wanted to, he would just prod his weapon forwards and kill the Emperor. But, just to make things more safe and realistic, Anakin would force choke him the way he did Padme, with all that rage and hatred, only this time remembering how his wife was almost killed numerous times as a result of Palpatine's doing, stunning Palpatine for a few seconds, just as Vader, who was a much less powerful version of Anakin, did in the comic, where he sent Palpatine back towards the wall.
No! You told me you could save her.
In your rage, you chose a different path.
As Palpatine would overpower Anakin to break free from the choke, it would be too late. Anakin's lightsaber would be already struck deep within the Chancellor's spine, coming out of his throat. As Anakin retracts his lightsaber and sees the body fall to the floor, stepping back and coming out of his blacked out rage.
What have I done?
Anakin would start to panic, but he knew that he did the right thing. He would run to Master Windu and tell him exactly what he just did. Mace Windu would look at him in question. He would go with Skywalker to see the body laying there, motionless. As he'd turn to Anakin and tell him this will be a mess to clear in the Senate, Mace tells him to go wait in the Jedi Temple, summoning his fellow Jedi, Sazi Agan and Master Kit Fisto, to seek their guidance in what to do on the matter. As a Jedi Council meeting would immediately be held around the galaxy, they would all have Anakin explain the situation, where Yoda would tell him that he did the right thing. However, to give into his hatred and anger was a direction down the wrong path. The Jedi would stand trial in front of the entire Senate, broadcasted to the whole of the galaxy. Anakin would be summoned to speak of the events, and Senators Padme and Chancellor Valorum, who would return to speak out against what had just happened with Palpatine's advisor and administrative assistant, Mas Amida, who would speak out on the crimes that the Jedi had committed, beginning to win the crowd in his favor, as Palpatine was loved by most but hated by many. Master Windu would approach the stand, handing them a tape from the security archives. As they played the tape, everyone gasped in awe as they heard Palpatine reveal himself as the Sith Lord who had been behind everything, from Senator Padme's assassination attempts to the Separatist Army and the Clone Wars. Mas Amedda would be cuffed immediately for treason, and Padme would be promoted as leader of the Senate and the Republic. Anakin would raise his 2 children with her in the temple, having Luke and Leia train under Master Yoda himself, while learning the art of fighting from Master Windu. The Skywalker children would excel in their abilities and become the most powerful Force users in the galaxy, protecting everyone from whatever threat would loom over the universe someday again. I hope you guys enjoyed today's return to fan fictions. It feels really good to be back at them. I'll have many more coming. Tomorrow will be the announcement of the lightsaber giveaway. And as for today's episode, it wasn't as action-packed as others because this one was more methodical and analytical. What do you think, nonetheless? Would Palpatine have died so easily, or would he have escaped? Of course, if he fought and escaped, it would make for a more interesting story, but if we're gonna make this one more realistic, then I feel this is what would have happened. I also want to say the forum is now officially up in its beta stages on the Star Wars Theory website, along with the live chat rooms for you all to go and speak amongst yourselves, while I'll pop in every now and then. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
The Force will be with you always.
Now, fulfill your destiny.